Sorry.
Your cat was playing records?
He's messing with one.
Hello, and welcome to Jabberjaw. I'm your host, Jessica Dawson Collier, and with me, as always, is Tyson Wheeler Dynas and Matthew David Smith. Guys, welcome. Pew, pew,
Thank
Thank
pew.
you.
you. Thank you.
It is nice to be here virtually in this room.
It
Isn't
is.
it?
It is one of my favorite parts of every week, or whatever
Me
those weeks,
too.
whatever those weeks
Oh,
happen.
those freaking weeks. How was
It's
everybody's Labor Day?
It was
Matt.
good. It was good. Should I go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go. You go.
You're handing me officially. So Labor Day itself was like the weekend was really fun because, as I think I mentioned last time we podcasted, um, we were going to the drag races, and so
Oh, that's right.
what I did not understand is we weren't going
Excellent.
to a drag race; we were going to the drag race. It was the National Hot Rod Association National Championship. And so our good friend Steve and his family invited us along with his boys. And we sort of got the VIP experience kind of back with the cars and everything. And it was
Cool.
awesome. I felt like totally was like I kind of felt like Leo, like the 8-year-old was just like the whole time just enamored with like the whole situation. And I was like, I kind of feel like him a little bit. Like it was really neat. Like it was very loud and yeah, no, it was just really good experience. We got to meet the driver who ultimately wound up winning the whole thing. Like I learned a lot about, I'm trying not to go into the weeds here because I learned a lot about, and we did our research. And so there's different like classes, I guess you would call them or do call them. And so it's all the way from like these little, like kind of like backyard projects that like your uncle and cousin have been working on for the last 4 years. And he's just, just looking for a creative way a way to end it all, and up to like these like these like they're just crazy, like these dragster looking things, but they go like 330 miles an hour within 3 seconds. So it's like
Oof.
0 to 330 miles an hour, and it's just nuts. Like they're real noisy and they're real
Yeah, that would
fast, and
that would be loud, I imagine.
it's very yeah.
Yeah,
So,
very
but
loud.
no, really cool. We got to meet the drivers. The boys got to get in the cars, which
Neat.
was really neat.
Nice.
And like the driver, and forget I don't remember his name. He was the nicest guy. He was like helping us kind of give him, kind of showing us around and and showing us things, and Anton Brown, who was busy, and he wound up being like a younger driver, and he wound up basically tying with him. So like we didn't realize he was a driver at the time. But anyway, really, really kind of fun experience. I think I would definitely go back. It was really hot. We didn't unfortunately didn't get to see like a lot of actual races just because it was super hot here. And his race got delayed by like an hour. But no, really, really fun experience. I recommend the drag races. I think I will go back. I knew it'd be an interesting experience, but I didn't. It was a lot of fun.
I kind of
There's
want to
like the whole
experience it.
Oh,
and it's
I would
also
love to.
like not to mention like the whole state farm like not state farm state fair aspect of the whole thing too. So you've got like
Sure.
all the
Yeah.
carny food, and you've got like and
Oh,
so it's a really
yes.
it's pretty fun. So if there's ever, I actually think, and Kathy and I were talking about this, I actually think it's kind of a neater experience probably than the Indy 500, because the Indy 500 is just
Really? Okay.
crazy. Like there's just so many people, but this was like,
Yeah.
it reminded me a lot of like, because we've been to those two where they've got like the pits that are behind the race and you've got all the trucks and everything set up. We've done that too at the Indy 500, but this was just really, it was kind of a little bit smaller scale. Has that kind of local feel to it. The vibe is definitely local. If you're in local Indiana,
Yeah.
you're catching my drift. And so, but it's fun. It's fun. It was a really fun experience, and I think they had a great time. So yeah,
That's
and
cool.
the rest of Labor Day just kind of got some
I'll,
kind of house
I'll,
cleaned up from vacation, and
shit, I'll
yeah,
fly in
back
for
at
that
it.
if you can hook that up, dude. That
Yeah, if I could ever do it again, yeah, we don't
That
think like
would be
actually.
super
It
fun.
was really neat. Like it kind of exceeded. He had a nice little kind of back area. Well, between races, it was all cooled, and they have these insane like RV trailer, double wide, triple wide
Yeah.
things that just store everything and look awesome. And food, it was catered, so we had like some steak and some ham. Yeah, I think it was. No,
Steak and
it
some
was really
ham.
fun.
I like
It was
that.
it was good. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then yeah, just kind of relax the rest of the extended vacation. Did you guys do any like Labor Day like official activities like potato sack races or anything? I don't know, like traditional shit. What do you do on Labor Day? That's what I always
I
kind
wish.
of.
I mean, I went to Hayes, America,
You did? Oh yeah, that's right.
uh,
Okay.
to visit the fam and just hang out. Jonas went hunting with my dad, dove hunting.
Oh
Uh,
wow, nice.
cat vision, or wait, dog vision. That's a
Dog
lot of
vision.
dog.
Oh wow, that is a lot of dog.
Hey, look at
And
the camera.
what
Say
else did
hi.
we do? We went to Taco Shop. Oh, you guys, there's a whole thing with Taco Shop I don't know if you're aware of. They changed their tortillas. Do you guys know
Oh
this?
Oh no.
Yeah,
They
after how many decades?
yeah,
yeah.
it's because I think the supplier shut down because
That's it. That's
Why
what. Yeah.
how
Shout
do
out
you
to Anna Towns,
how do
who I
you
was
guys
having
know
lunch
this?
with.
yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Here's the
I was
deep
unaware
dive.
of.
I was curious about this. So the maker of those thin tortillas is a company called Azteca,
Oh
uh,
yeah. Are they
and
gone?
and you cannot find them. And because when I have a one of my real hardships is like when they discontinue like a food product that I love. It's just
Sure.
I have a lot of separation
Same.
anxiety.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Like
do
from
too.
like
I get it.
there's a reason why I have like I actually just no, I'm not even gonna go into that. It's embarrassing. I'll tell you offline. Well, we'll tell the people later. After you mock to the your private exclusive.
I'm sure it's some kind of Doctor Diet do
It's
something.
along those lines.
Yeah.
Yes, it's along those lines. Yeah, but no. So
Yeah.
that is wow. I'm
So
not sure.
So
I
people upset?
here is
Are people upset?
people are upset. People are upset. Anna was having a Mexican pizza, and she said that because I had a Loco Taco and a Taco Supreme. They're my favorite. They tasted fine, but they did taste a little bit different. And then Anna said that the tortillas don't taste that different, except when you fry them, they're not as crunchy as they used to be.
Mm,
I was like, that's fucked up.
yeah.
But it's a thing. It's a thing in Hayes. So anyway, I
You
feel your
guys are
pain,
you guys
Hayes
are so
Americans.
you guys are so in the loop of the taco shop stuff. I
In
mean,
the thread that keeps that town together,
I,
Oh,
Tice.
I,
You have to
I,
be.
no, but not only I independently verified it. I hadn't heard that, so this was all lore.
No,
Like
it is verified.
we're like a real
Yeah,
journalist organization at
we
this
really
point.
are.
Uh,
Jabberjaw investigates Taco Shop
Probably
edition.
where's
But
our fucking Peabody? Yeah. So
I
yeah.
know. But
that
I
is
did have
interesting.
a funny experience. Bob Long, shout out to Bob. I think he listens actually. He was
Hey
waving at
Bob.
me through the driver's window because I was having lunch with Anna and my mom's best friends, including Anna's mom, Cheryl, and it was fun. Anyway, I was in the parking lot. He's like, "Hey, Dawson." I go in there, give him a hug. He's like, "We're getting our asses kicked." Immediately go into PTSD. I was like, do you want me to come back there and help? He was like, nope. I was a better employee than I probably was. Anyway, that was fun.
It's funny. The one thing I want to mention about this is, do you remember this was probably, 15 years ago when we were all hanging out in Hayes with the imitation taco shop that opened up
Oh yeah.
where
Yes.
Thirsties is or
Yeah.
in that area.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
remember that being everything was exactly the same except for they had the thicker
Exactly the
tortillas.
same.
And they
Yeah.
served you on
Plates.
plates.
And they had
Yeah,
plates.
and
Yeah.
Yep.
plates. Yeah,
And they
but
had
I remember
plates.
thinking it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, it's taco shop with that. And I remember thinking at the time, once I had some time to digest it, because the prices were less, I was like,
They
I'm
were
okay with
less.
this.
I was going to say
So
that.
I
Yeah.
think taco shop, if you lower your prices, the people will be happier. Now I'm just I can't say
Listen to
I
this
can't.
man. He
I
is
know, I
correct.
know. I
Yeah.
know.
It's
No,
true.
yeah,
It's true.
you might have to take it on the you've had like a great 30-year run. A
Yeah.
wonderful,
Yeah.
but you gotta take it a little on the nose. Like, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I took Beth there for the first time, she's like, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be, and I'm like, well, it's not. They use fresh ingredients, blah 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 blah. I was like, but the thing, the thing I was like, the thing is like it's expensive. I mean, it's always been expensive, and they charge
It's
what?
always been expensive.
It
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
250 for a delivery charge plus another charge, and I was like, Jesus Christ, and that was 1995. So like Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, I'm old. And so like yeah, Yeah, but
We
they
were still
couldn't.
using
They
cash
could.
back then.
I know, right? Right.
Like that's what it really hurt. Like I think that's when inflation spending got out of hand is when we physically stopped handing bills over to pay with shit. I just think
Yep.
there's a mental disconnect there that
There's
changed anyway.
something there. Yep.
That's my own
Okay, now you guys sound old, so I appreciate it. That's cool.
It's fine. I'm there.
Yeah.
It's
it is fun.
yep.
It
I,
is
Just
fun.
cross the
I've been
threshold.
out, and they're like, and I'm like, do you have any cash, Dad? And he's like, yes, and he pays for cash. I'm like, you're paying with cash, and he's like, it's a generational thing. You guys don't do that. And I'm
I
like, yeah,
see we
we
don't, but
don't.
you know what's funny? I like to have at least $40 in cash in my wallet at all times,
That's a good
just
idea.
in case.
Yeah.
Well, we keep money around the house just in case something goes wrong. Like on a weird,
Like
like
hidden in like shoes and stuff.
no, we have like no more
It's
than
in the
like
walls.
yeah, no more than $200. Like just kind of here and there. Like
Oh,
when
that's
she
smart.
when
You
she
have some
goes,
in the safe, I guess.
she likes Beth likes to go to the farmers market. You always need cash for that.
Yeah,
No, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So that's a thing. And another thing is like I don't know. A lot of times when I'm out buying something for lunch or whatever, they're like card machine's broken. So if you have $60 in
Oh,
your
yeah.
car, you can just be like, okay,
Yep.
that's fine. So
Not a big deal.
I get it, but I don't always do it. But I get it. It's like so.
Yeah.
But again,
I had to use like Apple Pay for the first time. Like
Well,
this is an
okay, and
old
that's
man
what I was.
story.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I had to use Apple because I left my wallet at Kathy's and I needed to get gas, and I didn't have enough cash to do it, and I really didn't want. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to use Apple Pay, like like these people say you can
it works fine.
incredibly easily.
Yeah,
I
I've done it.
literally it has the little thing. I held my phone up to it. And it was done, and I was like, "Oh, that's not so hard." It's like I think it was like a couple years ago, and like I inserted my because I still do this thing. This is an old man thing, but I still hand my card to the person. Like I'm not even that old. I still do that like instinctively. I hand my card, and I'm like, "Oh,
And they're
okay,
like,
right."
Oh,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
next progression of that apparently is I put my card, I slid my card in.
man, you're supposed to just put the thing
He's like,
on.
you don't have to do.
Tap
He's
it.
like, you don't have
Give it
to
a
do
little
that
tap.
anymore. And I was like,
Yeah.
all
And
right.
then
So after being judged, I do tap now, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
I do. Tell me, and like somebody was like, it's safer for you to do that, and I'm like, that's bullshit. It's just faster, like,
Yeah, that's not no.
like
Safer.
It's safer.
Okay.
I'm like, well, that's what somebody told you. Your manager
Magic
told
air
you.
money is safe. Yes.
Yeah,
I don't think any of us suffer any under delusion that it's safe. I think it just
yeah.
works, and we have no other alternative. So
It's but
there we are.
it's a double edged sword. Speaking of old technology, it's a double edged sword to be able. If you use your card for everything, you can see exactly how much money you're spending on. I don't know, taco shop. So
That's
That's
true.
true.
in theory, you
Yeah.
might want to know that, but really, do you? Like, so it goes both ways.
I know it's a shit show,
One thing
you don't have to tell me twice.
for not for nothing, but like I do think that like your like charge history, if for nothing else, I don't document my life any more than that.
Yeah,
You
no
can
shit.
probably reconstruct a lot from trips you took, and like so you've always got your Visa statement to
I always,
let you know what you did.
yeah, I think too. It's like forensic science, Like
Right.
they could be able to
It is.
figure out,
It is.
where you were and what's going
Yeah.
on.
Exactly. Like why
I
was I
always,
in North Dakota?
I, I always do this. I always do this joke where like people are like, you want a receipt? I'm like, no paper trail. And then one guy one day he
Nice.
It's a pretty good joke, Tyson. I like that.
I love it.
and one day one guy goes, oh, you used your card. There's a paper trail. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Ah, shit. Yeah.
I was like, I still use the joke, but it's like,
Thanks, buddy.
That's funny. That is funny.
I was like, damn it,
Uh,
that guy had really thought about it, but
Oh, I love that.
he's a flat earther somewhere. He's just checking, making sure everything's okay. He's not going to be found when the fucking
Keeping
I don't know.
people in the know.
Yeah.
Yeah. One
For
thing, speaking of cards, real quick, when we were traveling to Italy and then to Mexico this year, I did the whole like old woman thing of like calling the credit card company.
Mm.
Even though online they specifically say you do not need to call us anymore,
Yeah.
just because I had this fear of getting over there and the card being declined. And they're like, we get this call a lot. like every time I called. So I'm finally at a place where I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, it was a little weird at first.
I like the emails I used to get. I don't get them anymore from Bank of America. They'd be like, "It looks like you bought a record from Germany and you bought a taco from someplace, in Mexico or not Mexico, but like I don't know, somewhere like Western Kansas." And then like another thing, and I'd be like, "Yeah,
from
after
Taco Shop, which is why it
yeah,
flagged
I
the
had to,
thing. Just
I had to send
What the
them.
hell
all
are you
right.
doing in Hayes,
Yeah,
Kansas? Yeah.
I had to send them a thing being like, it was a little button. It was like, yeah, I did these things. But one time they called and they're like, "Did you buy a surfboard in Australia?" And I was like, "No, I did not." So they refunded it. It was a weird thing, but yeah, I don't know.
Like I wish I was buying a surfboard in Australia.
I was like, "How much was
I
it?"
should
Like
be.
I was
Yeah.
like, "I don't have surfboard money in my account. What the fuck happened?" Like I don't know how much surfboards are, but I assume I don't have that kind of money in the account. So
Uh,
that's
Oh
a
man.
that's a great thing. It's like you just be like, "Hey," walking around and be like, "You want to buy a meal?" I'm like, "I don't have surfboard money. Don't like that."
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
They would have no idea what I was talking about. Um, I just real fast. I for Labor Day weekend, we were gonna go see Punky Johnston, she's on Saturday Night Live. She's a comedian,
no, sure.
and she was playing locally, and I got an email from the club, and they were like, "You want an internal raffle, and we'll give you free tickets to the show." Um, and I was like, "Beth, do you want to go?" And she's like, "Sure." And um, so I ordered them. They were normally $66. They were free, and I had paid a $6 service charge. Now, when you go to any comedy club, you have to buy two things, two drinks, two food
Two
things, or
drink
whatever,
minimum. Yeah.
whatever, which is fine, though, whatever. You got to do that anyway. And anyway, it was supposed to be Friday night, and we were going to go, and I went to physical therapy, and they did that dry needling thing, and so I went to get a haircut a couple hours later, and I could barely sit in the chair, so we didn't end up going. Boo, boo. But I went and saw, and I'm going to go ahead and do my plug now. I went and saw Bottoms the next day, and I laughed my face off. It was so amazing. It was I can't stress enough how much fun this movie is, and I'll get into it later. And then the next 2 days, I went to the record store, my local record store, because they had acquired 5,000 albums in an estate sale, and
Wow.
they were literally like, I don't. They were like, it's too much to process. So they just put $1 on every single record. So you just went in there and
Wow.
you just and this guy, he he must have sold records because there was on almost all of them there was a little tag, and he wrote the quality of the record, um, and a price, and and something about the record. So like you could see like some of the stuff, for $1,
Right, right.
it could be worth like
It's like the
$40.
research is already done.
Sure.
Like that's
Exactly,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to deal with it, and they were like, and I asked the owner, I was like, "Well, how did you get?" And he's like, "I don't know, some lawyer, some bullshit, I don't understand." But we got him, and we didn't want to process him, so we just were like, "We'll just put $1 on it." And I went, so it started Friday. On Saturday, I went Sunday, and then I had to go to the movie. I had a limited time, so I went and saw Bottoms, and I came back on Monday because Beth was like, "You should just go," and they were all 50 cents. So I got really like, I was like, "I'll just buy anything. I don't give a shit. If something makes me laugh, I'll just buy it." And I bought probably 30 records that I will probably
Wow.
listen to once and throw away because they're terrible. Um, but I mean, just some crazy stuff. If you follow me on Facebook, I've been posting a couple of them, and I will keep posting more. Um, but it was. I got no Brian Green. So I was going to ask you guys. One of you guys is going to know. Brian Green is an actor, and he was on 90210. Is that
Brian
correct?
Are you
Austin Green.
Austin Green? You're
Okay.
speaking of
Yes.
his short-lived rap career, Tyson?
Yes.
Because I
Yes. And
hope you have that.
I bought a record for him, and it was a 40. They were like $40 for this record, and I was like, for Brian
What?
Green. I was like, what? And so again, I think the
Do
guy
you
that got
have
all.
it?
Yeah, I got it.
Like, can
That's
you
right here.
show us?
Oh yeah, I really want to
Show the
see this.
Well,
YouTubers?
first off, it's a mega. It's one of those 12-inch singles, so there's no cover on the
Okay.
record. It's
Oh,
just a
okay.
black
All right.
thing, and
Okay.
it's his
I
thing.
gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But
Still.
yeah. But I was like, well, just for the money, I guess I'll just pick this up, and like, and I just bought a bunch of weird shit, like, and I found the I found a record by L. Ron Hubbard, um, where he wrote his own music to
You have to play it
Battlefield Earth.
backwards.
What?
For Battlefield Earth, it was called Space Jazz. And there's some, and I have listened to it, and there is some narration, and it makes no sense whatsoever. And I've seen the movie;
Holy shit.
it's
Yes.
nuts. And so, I'll just show this real fast. Um, I found a Mouser size album that my mother actually purchased for me when I was 7 years old,
That's cute.
and
Yeah,
so
I had the same tape, Tyson. Holy
it's
crap!
not an album, it's a tape, but yeah, yeah, and it was 50 cents, and I was like, well, it's worth 50 cents to just take a picture of it and send to my mom. Not that I could have done that at the store. The one thing that I got for Beth is there was her high school put out a record of their marching band playing, and it was her. I remember that the director was her band director, and I remembered the high school name, and so I brought it back, and it's on blue vinyl, and I guess their colors were gold and blue, so like the album, and it was like $40. And in this collection, there were many band, like K State, different high schools, just different
Hmm.
bands that released records, and um, the weirdest one I thought was it was a band camp. They released a record of the band camp. The after 2 weeks you play like some songs. Apparently, I don't know.
Now,
I don't
what era were these
Wow.
mostly from?
late '60s, early '70s.
Okay.
I saw more Vic Damone records than I've ever seen in my entire life. I saw a lot of like Ray Conniff records, and this guy had a thing for fucking Hawaiian music. Anyway, that's what I did over Labor Day weekend. So I'm just telling you. So
Now
anyway,
that sounds like a lot of. And I appreciate you picking up that Haircut 100 single, which I think is really pretty rare because that was like off their second album, which is really hard to find anyway because Nick Hayward left the band, and so they kind of. But
oh
it did
really?
not chart or anything, and so it didn't. So, but there's not a lot of copies of those around, so which is
I
super
picked up a
cool. So,
couple other things that you might like. I got a dead and alive right round baby 12-inch
oh, very
single,
nice.
and some
Nice.
other stuff. Yeah, and I did pick up a Love Shack 12-inch with like 4 mixes on it. Anyway,
Yes.
whatever. But like Beth was
Fun.
like, "Well, what are you gonna do with these things?" And I'm like, "What am I gonna do with my golden anniversary 1914 to 1965 Panama Canal, golden anniversary?"
He's so happy about this,
I was, I
everybody.
was, I was, I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna listen to it. What kind of?
You are a collector
Yeah,
upon
exactly. There's
collectors.
a difference between hoarding and classy hoarding, and you, sir, are a classy hoarder.
I'll
Uh,
need you to fucking write that down and
Oh,
notarized. That's because that's gonna be an issue when I'm old and they're cleaning out the house. So as long as I don't think a lot of these are gonna make the cut. I got here. I'm just gonna show you this one other thing. So this is a record. It's called All Time Greatest Bloopers, and it was collected by Kermit Schaefer, radio and TV producer. There is no other information at all. I haven't listened to it yet. There's no
that's it.
liner notes. There's
Interesting.
nothing on the labels. I mean, there's nothing. And so I'm like, well, what the fuck is this? And I was like, 50 cents. I got to find out. So anyway, that's that's
Uh,
weird to be playing all the all-time great bloopers on a very nice record player. Whatever. Anyway,
Oh,
that was our thing. It was nice. It was a nice, relaxing weekend,
good.
except for the
I
dry
love it.
needling. So
Curses. It will help. It is helping.
no, and I asked for it, so it was my fault.
Yeah.
I just didn't think about it. Um, I know, right? I know.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to do headlines or whatever? We're kind of on a
Duh.
we're
Whatever.
on a
Yeah, we'll do it.
limited
We'll do it. We're on a budget.
Headline of the week.
We should call it a time budget. That's great.
Time budget.
Okay, so I'll
Time
go.
budget. I like it. Go on.
I'll go first. This is from. Let me look it up real fast. This is from HuffPost. It was the title of the thing is Gen Z won't let anyone see their feet. Here's why. For the generation raised on the internet, there's a literal and figurative cost for open toes, and the whole thing is about how they don't wear open toe shoes, and they wear sandals with socks. And so there's a quote in there from a uh, like a millennial teacher, and this is her quote, and I just thought it was great. Not only do they often prefer not to show their own feet, but they can take offense to others who do. Michelle, who was in the habit of exposing her feet in sandals, was heckled by her high school students for the sartorial choice. Quote, usually I hear, Miss, the dogs are barking, or Miss, for free? You just giving those free foot picks out? She recalled. She has even experienced students barking at her feet. So, as much as I enjoy the increasingly small amount of we're dividing up generations. It used to be 30 years, and now it's like 10 years, and it's going to get closer and closer. Like at some point, it'll be like,
Right.
you know, a 5 year rung is going to be like whatever. But
Right.
I do enjoy hearing about all the people's foibles. It's great. Um, This is from HuffPost. Kanye West and Bianca Censori banned for life from Venice Boat Company after not for safe work incident. Um, Obviously, that's part of his work, so I don't think that's an accurate thing. But the couple was captured in a compromising position aboard the vessel after photos began circulating on the internet. They are
Mm.
banned for life following a lewd act on a Venice boat. So that's interesting. It's not. I don't know if you guys. I mean, is it one of those like the people with the hats and the thing, and they're just
The
Venice boat,
gondolas. I
the
was in
gondolas?
Venice in
Yeah,
the spring. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, did they do it on a gondola? It doesn't say. It says embarking on a canal ride.
Well,
Oh,
Boat
my
ride.
headline is a follow-up. And
Oh,
yes, they
good.
did. They have
oh,
the pictures. Kanye is sitting in the gondola with his pants down. People like you can see his
yes,
ass. Yeah,
yes.
and she
That's
is in his lap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically the only way it would be worse if he had like a giant bowl of spaghetti, like while she was like going down on him, like that. Then the Italian people would have really lost their shit.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, it was really like it's funny. It's just because
It's pretty
it's just
fucking obvious.
like because it's not surprising behavior for Kanye. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's like well, at least he's not on social media, so that's a win. Like or making music, that's a win. So I think yeah,
Well, yeah. I think we
and
should
I don't.
all. I would love. We should all get pictures of ourselves for the for the Jabberjaw press release of us just eating a giant bowl of spaghetti. Just like I just think
With
that'd
our
be
pants down.
no,
Yeah, I like
just
that.
the
No.
spaghetti. I just think
In a boat.
I think it's a good
It's
one.
only one way to eat it.
Nah.
Yep, one
It's only
way.
one way. One way. uh,
uh, this is from People. This is a feel good dog story of the year, as far as I'm concerned. Dog sneaks
Ah,
out.
nice.
Dog sneaks out and attends Metallica concert in California. See the cute photos.
I did see that. Yeah.
So, apparently this is legit. There's lots of people that have saw the dog, and there's a picture of the dog sitting in a chair at the concert, just hanging out. And anyway, like he just snuck out. He and walked into SoFi Stadium, and then somebody like let him sit in the chair, and he just sat there and watched the show, and then he snuck out. So this is what Metallica said on their Facebook. Our friend Storm snuck out of her home adjacent to SoFi Stadium and made her way to the gig all by herself. Uh, After a full night taking in the show with her Metallica family, hashtag, Storm was safely reunited with her actual family the next day. And then, of course, the people that check on things like that went to the Facebook page to see if the dog was being ignored or whatever. But the dog has many pictures of loving pictures with their owners, so they
were they
didn't.
like a Christian family? And
No,
like the dog
no,
was
no. I don't know.
had to get away,
That
had to
would
get
be
out and
Damn it.
rebel.
that would be
Damn
great.
it.
The sad thing is like the copywriting for Metallica. It's so not. I mean, like, but this dog sure did have her day. Like, come on, like
Well,
who's
I'm
right?
sure it's
Who's?
right.
I mean, I know that Metallica fans are in
Guys.
their 50s, but I mean, come on. It's like, yeah. Anyway, but I feel good story of the summer so far. Let's see. Beth sent me this actually. This is from Newsweek. Steven Seagal opens center to teach Russian military recruits martial arts. Uh, yeah, I mean, he's been working with the Russians for a long time now, so this doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Once a star of American movies, Seagal says he is now 1,000,000% Russian. So just to point out that he is
1,000,000%.
he's
Okay.
not teaching math in Russia, which is probably a good thing. So
Heyo.
that's a thing.
All right, I was a little late on that.
Oh, I love this. So this is from Sports Illustrated. Now I was talking to my wife about this. I was like, "Have you heard of this?" Because this happened in like February, and she's like, "No." And I was like, I had to go to Sports Illustrated and the New York Times to find stories about this. Um, so they are not talking about this locally. So this is from Sports Illustrated. Chief Superfan accused of armed bank robbery indicted on 19 accounts. So there's this guy that dresses up like a wolf and he goes to all the games, but he can't afford it anymore. So he tried to rob a bank in Oklahoma. Um,
At
yeah,
least he went out of state for it.
yeah. So the 29-year-old who is nicknamed Chiefaholic on
Dummy.
social media was on the
Oh,
run after skipping a March court appearance in connection with an alleged December 2022 bank robbery in Oklahoma, but the Kansas City FBI announced in July that he had been arrested. Okay, so he was out on an $800,000 bail. So here's the interesting part. A fellow Chiefs fan or Chiefs fans got together and paid his bail because he was a Chiefs fan. That's how happy the Chiefs fans are right now. They're just like, fuck it, whatever. You tried to rob a
Cloud
bank.
nine. Yep. Here's
Yep,
some
wow.
money, bro. Yeah.
there you go. Get out of there. We understand it. Um, anyway, so very strange, but go Chiefs. Especially tomorrow night. Go Chiefs, everybody.
Yes. Go
Uh,
Chiefs.
and
Thoughts
then
and prayers to Travis Kelsey. God damn it. What is
yeah,
happening?
my first pick in one of my things. Oh, you got him too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking bullshit.
It
Uh,
is.
well, it's not bullshit. I mean, I don't want him to blow out his whole season.
I don't either. I want him to take care of himself, but I'm a little disappointed. It's
I,
okay. He'll be
I
fine.
I haven't even looked at my backup tight end, so I guess I'll figure that out.
Don't mind. I cried a little before the show, so it's all great.
If everyone has forgot, we have our own Jabberjaw draft and league. So we had our was it last week? We had
Yeah,
our
We had
draft.
our
immediately
draft after the
after
show.
our last podcast. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
it went okay, but I think Matt's significant other who wasn't there probably got the best team because it was auto drafted.
I would agree with that. Way to go, Kathy.
I looked at
And
her lineup and I was like, damn.
I did the same thing. Especially after I got a D+ report card.
I
God
know.
damn
Oh,
it.
that's tough, guys. Sorry.
I know. So whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, and those are my headlines. Matt.
Yeah. I have quite a few, but a few just to brush over quickly because I'm sure we can comment on the ones we really care about. Tyson, sad news. Roku is laying off 10% of the company. So I know you've been doing your work. You just need to do a little bit more, but they are laying
Man, Roku only
Farts.
has like 25 employees. I need them all to keep
So
their
I'm
job.
guessing, 2.5 of those people are now looking for a job at somewhere else.
I think Five Guys are real. He's in a real situation. It's hard to hire a pair of legs if there's nobody controlling him. But
What happened to the Jerry Springer channel?
yeah, right.
oh, I love that channel. I never watch it. I just go and look at the headlines. I just love it.
Oh God.
It's good news. Enrique Tarrio, the proud boy of all proud boys, was sentenced to
yes.
22 years in prison.
Yep.
And what I didn't realize, and I didn't read into this as I should have, but he actually wasn't there during the whole thing. So it speaks. The commentary I kind of heard about it was that it speaks to kind of the strength of the case they had against the conspiracy sort of on a national level and him being applicable to that conspiracy. And so it's looking like that they probably got a pretty good case.
Nice.
22 years is a long time
That is a long time.
to prison
It
for
is.
a game show host. Like that's a long, except if it's Bob Barker, maybe Bob Barker, but maybe
well,
Bob
the thing is, like You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna get into it. Go ahead. Move on. Move
All
on.
right,
Move on.
moving on. Mar-a-Lago IT worker strikes deal with Jack Smith. So I do love this because, God damn it, if there's a dude that's gonna flip, it's the IT
Oh yeah,
guy. And I'm just
absolutely.
telling you right now,
Excellent.
yeah, I will flip on you.
Excellent.
Yeah, just
Is this the guy that ran the hose into the IT room?
I don't know if it's that guy, but apparently, like he like gave a statement and then had a meeting with Jack Smith and his team, and then just completely reversed his statement. Basically, like so it sounded like he was lying through his teeth. They told him, I'm sure those people do have the ability to scare the living shit out of you. I mean, that is
Absolutely.
their job. And so each one of these people is going to get to go through that lovely process with these people. And I think so. Yeah, the IT guy was like, I just wanted to be a website master, and
Yeah, right. I didn't know.
just yeah. Now I'm flooding rooms and yeah, and doing autocratic bidding and yeah. So anyway, he sounds like so that I think this is the first domino in a long string. They did rule on the Georgia case today. That I think the two defendants trial will start in October, but they have not announced if that when the other 17 will go to trial. But they outlaid a 4-month timeline, which is pretty interesting.
Now
So
these are the two guys that demanded a quick and speedy trial, right?
yeah,
Based
this
on
is
their
Cheese. I know this isn't his name, but I
cheese
call
bro.
him Cheeseburger, Cheese Bro. Yeah, Cheese Bro, which is just a rather unfortunate name all the way
It
around.
is. It is. It is.
The
Yep.
other unfortunate name is Ray Smith, which is of course my lovely mother's name. So no
Yeah.
That
confusion
is true.
on that front. Different spelling, but yeah. So anyway, IT guy flipped. Yeah, let me find some of the fun ones. Oh, here we go. So Tyson mentioned if it was the feel good story of the summer, this is not. So this is the headline reads diarrhea all the way through the airplane.
There it
So
is.
apparently on a Delta flight out of Atlanta, um, someone had diarrhea, and they actually, to an extent, in which they had to turn the plane completely around. And the funny thing was, I was looking. I took a screenshot of this headline when I originally found it, and I was doing a search, and I started Delta flight, and then it auto completed diarrhea video. So that's what the people want. There is a video out there if you really want to see the
Have
extent
you
of
watched
the
it?
I
I
did
have
not.
not.
No, I saw the
Okay.
still come up, and I'm like,
I
I
did
get,
too, and I was
I get
like,
the
yeah,
gist.
that's
Yeah, I
enough.
get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Yep.
get it. So,
What's the
but
was the guy in the bathroom, or was he in his seat, or what was going on?
I'm not sure. And you know
I
what,
didn't want to know that
I do
much,
feel
actually.
really bad for this individual,
Oh, me
whomever
too.
they were, because
I
oh
do
my
too. That's a
god, like
lot. To have the pilot say it's a biohazard.
yeah. So that was originally one of the first headlines. Literally called it a biohazard, which I was just like, I mean, it is, but there, it was just. Yeah, I think that was just like, ugh. And then as a sort of companion story, um, Air Canada sorry for booting passengers who refused vomit-soiled seats. So
Oh,
apparently,
what?
they basically they kicked these two people off the plane. They had seats. They went back, and the seats were covered in vomit. And they did what any rational person would do and say, "Hey, I'm not going to sit here. There's vomit on these," and they kicked them off the
Yeah.
plane. It was like it was their fault. So, anyway, I just thought it was funny that airlines having a heck of a day. Both those stories came out hit the wire at the same
Tough
time.
times in the sky.
Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, the only one oh yeah. I'll skip that one. One more. This was just kind of fun. So Alex Murdaugh, I don't know if I think we've talked about
Oh
the
yeah.
Murdaugh
Yeah.
murders and that
Yeah.
whole thing. So it sounds like they've got a real good appeals case for
Really?
getting that. Yeah, and so basically what happened, the charges are is that the court clerk, so basically the woman who sort of or person, sorry, who escorts people and kind of is in charge of the jury, but is really more to you need to be here now, you need to be here now. Apparently, she made statements, which I guess. According to the defense attorney, now it could all turn into be bullshit, but there are 3 independent witnesses who have said that she, you know, made comments about how they shouldn't listen to him because he's a liar,
Oh,
how
geez.
they needed to hurry up and make a decision. And so if any of this is true,
Oh yeah,
they're
mistrial.
going to turn. I mean, absolutely, absolutely, 100% mistrial, and so it'll go through the means and his case. But anyway, that one and weirdly enough, Buster, is that his name? Buster Murdaugh, the
Oh, the
kid
kid.
who also killed someone but
This
just hasn't
kid,
been charged
yeah.
for it. Well,
Yeah.
allegedly. We do need to say that now because we have over 15 viewers, I think. Uh, allegedly, he was on like Fox News, basically reclaiming his father's innocence. So I think there was sort of this coordinated media thing. So that's where I'm a little skeptical on it. But if the claims are legit, it does sound like it might go to trial again, which is, I guess we'll
Now,
get another HBO docu series out of it, which is
what
Yeah,
always a win.
right.
I did see that Netflix or whichever one, there's two different shows about it. They did renew season 2, so they must be.
There
That
is a season 2?
there's a season 2 coming. I just saw it the
No
other day,
shit.
and I was like, "What are they going to talk about? He's in jail." Oh, dun dun dun.
With this writer's strike going on, I almost wonder if there's not a conspiracy between Netflix and the Murdaugh attorneys.
Jabberjaw investigates. Here we go.
Allegedly,
Yeah,
yeah,
Yep.
I like it. But anyway, no, I think I'm going to leave it there. So those are my headlines.
very
Well
nice.
done, guys. I
Thank
have
you.
none. I literally, mine was
It's
the
okay.
follow-up to Tyson's. Kanye West bare ass photos getting a BJ. That's it. That's all.
Is that what was happening? I didn't know. I didn't want to ask because this is a family show. But I was,
Yeah,
Jabberjaw.
we
Family
did.
show.
I think we dealt with it pretty well. I
yeah,
think.
I think so.
We
I
haven't
think
really.
so.
It's a subject we haven't covered at length in this show, and I think we dealt with it with a tact that we're known for. The people we
Yeah,
recommend,
famously
agree.
known for.
famously known for tact.
That's
For
going
your
on a
ears.
shirt. That is definitely going on a shirt. Do you guys want to do some plugs?
That's
Sure.
plugs.
You, the ice cream manufacturer. You, the frozen food distributor. And you, the food retailer. Stand today in the midst of a selling revolution. For today, you're in a merchandising era of self-service, where display and accessibility are the key to successful merchandising. Yes, today's problem is merchandising. To sell in high volume for high profits, frozen products are impulse items, and impulse buying is primarily an emotional decision.
Emotions. So I forgot to mention last week that I saw Blue Beetle in the theaters because that's where it lives, and it's
Who was it?
it was good. I mean, it wasn't amazing. It was good. One of the things I liked about it is that it's an all Latinx cast. It's a Latinx superhero, and they make a big deal about that, and they and also, everyone who worked, the writers, producers were all Latinx. So I use the word Latinx because I think that you shouldn't say Hispanic anymore. I don't know, but you know how I am.
You
I don't.
should not.
Is that
I
true?
find it depends on the size of the grocery store you're in,
There you go.
how the terminology is used,
Yeah. Is there's
and what
Brazilian?
area of the country.
If there's Brazilian food in there, it's Latinx. So anyway, it's good. It's cute. It's very much like a kids movie. There were a lot of kids there, and actually most everybody in there were Latinx, which I thought was great. And there were some really like inside Latinx jokes that I did not get, but people were howling. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Um, we started watching this show on Peacock called Twisted Metal, which is based off a video game.
Oh, I
Uh,
saw that.
so it stars Anthony. Anthony,
God damn it. What's his name?
I don't
I
know.
can
He's
see
the
his
guy.
face.
Yeah, he's the current Captain America. I can't think of his last name. And
Yeah.
and then Will Arnett is one of the voices of one of the characters, the big bad. So that's great. Uh, and it's Beatrix, Stephanie Beatrix from 90210, the tough cop. She's the other lead, and it's written and created by the guys who did Deadpool and they did Zombieland. So
Okay.
it's very much in that vein. So it's funny. It's got kind of a like it's kind of that kind of humor, that kind of vibe. Anyway, we watched 2 episodes. It was quite good. We are catching up on Resident Alien, which is on Peacock as well, which is just a fantastic show. It kind of reminds me of Northern Exposure a little bit, which is that's a deep
Interesting.
Uh,
callback.
great
Yeah,
show.
right.
I love that
Oh
show.
yeah, it's very much like that because the way that they do the characters, the surrounding characters, you know how they build all their backstories and that over the
Yeah.
years. They did, yeah, so it's very much like that, but it centers around an alien who's trapped on Earth, and it's good. It's also a procedural murder mystery. So like it goes from like the first season. There's one story, so it's very much like Veronica Mars in that aspect as well. I'm throwing a lot of good shows at this because it is
Which
really
I
interesting.
haven't watched yet, and I will. Sorry, guys, again.
Well, it doesn't matter. Once you start watching it, you'll watch all of it because you won't be able to stop. So just plan
Maybe
for
I'll
that.
start that this week. I've been watching so much unsolved mysteries, and it's a little much.
In defense, I have been trying to watch ghost shows based on your obsession with them, just to kind of see what's going on with them. And
Yes.
you
Get
can
into the
buy
fall spirit, Tice.
you get all that stuff that they use, the little light up things. You can buy all that stuff, and they're expensive.
They're
And
expensive,
and
really
I
expensive. You
and
can
I
also get the apps for them if you want to do like EVPs and stuff like that.
I just assume all of it's bullshit. But the somebody can actually make money on that is awesome. But
You can.
I know.
My brother actually, fun fact, real quick story. Uh, my stepmom's childhood home outside of Lawrence, Kansas, is haunted. And when we stayed there, this was a long time ago. Like I'm talking over a decade ago. No, it wasn't. Was it a decade ago? No, it was like 6 years ago, 6 or 7. Anyway, Matt had one of those EVP readers downloaded on his phone. He went into the band room where this ghost hangs out and contacted it, didn't know any of the history. And the guy who died in that room, he was like, "What's your name?" And Renetta was there, I was there, and the ghost said John, and that was the name of the guy that died there. My stepmom screamed and hit Matt in the arm, and both of us laughed our asses so hard because she was so scared. She like immediately like ran out of the. He was like, best $5 I've ever spent. Anyway, sorry to
That's funny.
sidetrack, but it was great.
That's funny.
That is good. Oh, and so I just want to talk about bottoms again a little bit more. It's the best way to just it is like
Best movie of the
Heather.
year?
It there are better movies out there, obviously. I mean,
Okay.
it's no
All right.
Oppenheimer. It's no, but it was my favorite movie of the year, and
Okay.
the reason being is because I haven't seen a movie like Superbad in so long, and I think this is way better than
Yeah.
Superbad. Um, and it's just I mean, it's just easy funny, and it's really well written and really well act. I mean, if you don't know anything about it, it's about two lesbians that start a fight club in high school, and they call it because
To
they're
get lit, right?
yeah
Or
to
like
get
to
to get
yeah,
laid, but it's under the auspices of the fact that they are trying to uh, create a community and defensive because there's a and I have to say that like the football players in this show in this movie are the most hilarious football players I've ever seen because it is beyond I mean it is beyond satire. It's like a next level of satire. I mean like
yeah.
so I mean you know there's a great there's a thing where the two kids are sitting in high school and previously they had a run in with the quarterback and the quarterback got injured supposedly and the and the fucking principal goes hello those two beaver munchers that like messed with the quarterback last night. I need to see you in the office right now. I mean, it's great. And like the people, there's an announcer for school, and it's kind of hard to hear what he says, but every time you actually hear it, it's amazing. And I'll just give you the one line that just like I think I've been sharing with people because it's not dirty. And it's one girl who's black was talking to another girl who's black, and she goes, listen, even though you're a black Republican, you're still the smartest person I know. We need your help. You know. She's, she's 17. You know, it
Oh
was great.
wow.
Anyway,
So who's behind it?
it was produced by Elizabeth Banks and
He
and
didn't direct it. Who directed it?
somebody I don't
Brain
know.
farting.
Interesting.
It was written and
Producers.
it was written and directed by people I didn't know. But the acting is great. The comedy is great. Punky Johnson's in it. It was weird to see her. I was supposed to see her the night before. Uh, and yeah, so yeah, I was gonna go see it the next night, but we ended up not going.
Oh,
She's looks like it's writer director Emma Seligman.
Seligman.
She's actually
She
got a couple other
directed
things.
Shiva Baby, which I
Shiva Baby.
watched like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, which was
Okay.
actually pretty good. Pretty good indie movie. Very funny. With one
Yeah.
of the leads in the movie of Bottoms,
Interesting.
Rachel Sennett.
Oh yeah. She was one of the leads. Yeah, she was the. I didn't realize she was the writer director, but it's
Well,
just.
no, Shiva Baby stars Rachel
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
in the
Okay.
other movie that Emma did.
I
The
see. Okay.
director, writer,
Anyway, it's
producer,
really funny, and
everything.
there's an ex football player whose name escapes me, and he is the teacher, and he is very funny. So
Cool.
it's really good.
I can't
And
wait. Fuck yeah.
yeah, so so everyone out there go see it. It's just too much fun. So and those
Okay.
are the other thing I'm plugging in. I guess I have some music to plug, but I'll just put it on the playlist. So we'll
We'll
just do.
plug your weekly playlist for
Oh
people who
yeah.
don't follow our face plays.
So yeah, so I'm gonna make a little mixtape for every episode just with music, and if you guys want something on there, you just let me know. Um, but yeah, I
Well,
like I like
Tyson's phone number is, please hold.
no, not the
Text him.
listeners.
Just text him
You two guys,
anytime, day or night.
you two, right? Not everyone, but like as some of you may or may not know, we've all worked together on different radio shows over the years, and I used to work in radio all the time. I really miss like those rare moments in shows where you could actually play whatever you wanted to. Um, and since you can't really do that with blogs anymore, sharing a playlist is easy. So if you got Spotify, you can hop on and join the list and whatever, and Dawson will keep you informed, and I'll repost, and Matt won't because he doesn't go on FacePlace, and that's okay. Ah,
We
that's
still
fine.
love him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
I have an account that just sits there like a montage to myself in 2014. It's like
I feel
a
like Kathy keeps you
untouched
apprised of
bedroom.
stuff that's like happening online
She does.
sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I get secondhand Facebook news, which is
Yeah,
exactly the way I prefer it. Yeah.
I actually
That works.
I used to get that too, but I'm trying to be more engaged with the human race. So anyway, Matt, plugs.
Yeah, don't have a ton, but did have at least one. Telemarketers on the
Oh yeah,
Max,
yeah.
which I did mention last week as kind of a teaser. And yeah, it's only 3 episodes, which is a little disappointing. I really enjoyed it. General consensus wasn't great, I don't think, about it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought for what it was, it's just a funny kind of not too serious documentary. Like it's just, if you're looking for hard hitting, this is not it. But basically, the premise is these group of guys. What was it, Dawson? I know you were watching it too. So it was like late 90s, I think, early 2000s. Basically would work for these telemarketing firms that were basically, they would find these legitimate organizations, many of them being associated with police departments, which was really interesting. And what they would do is basically like, hey, we'll do all the fundraising for you and we'll give you 10% as long as we can use your organization's name. And so what they would do is they would open these telemarketing organizations, hire all these people, and they would call people under the
Mostly
auspice.
ex-cons.
Yeah, mostly ex-cons, because that's the funny part, is this is the most lovable group of fuck-ups you've ever seen, because
They're adorable, right?
because they're just drunk and high and just messed up all the time at work, and nobody cares.
Incredible salespeople.
But yes,
like,
and
really.
that's the thing. And just let me say, for for all the things that I've said about salespeople in the past, I feel so goddamn redeemed after watching this, because it literally is like it is a
It's true.
sociological disorder to be able to good. So anyway, because you can't care about people and be a good
You can't. You
salesperson.
have to be pretty much a
No.
fucking
You do.
psychopath.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've all been down
absolutely.
that. Right, yeah,
Yeah.
I tried to sell knives, tried to sell vacuums, not happening. I just
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah,
Tried
it
to-
sucks.
We've
But no,
all
I
tried.
really enjoyed it. It's pretty short. I think it's like 3 episodes, like maybe an hour a piece. It was done.
I need to watch the last one.
Of the footage is contemporaneous because they just had a VHS camera, or basically just, it's cute because they think they're really kind of going to bust this thing up, and they ultimately, but not to give too much away, but it is really very entertaining. One of the more fun documentaries I've seen in the last while.
I'm on one of those lists locally, and they call me all the time, and it's always for firemen, police, and I'm like, take me off the list. They never take me off the list. They call me literally 5 times a day.
Yeah.
So I finally will answer the phone, and I'll be like, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give her credit card information over the phone. Just send me a letter. And then they're like, oh, well, we found that doing letters doesn't really, I'm like, yeah.
No, that's. I mean, that's what I think that was also kind of the most knowledgeable thing about, it was the learning that, like, oh yeah, that's what they're doing, is like, you can't
Right.
just count on doing, because we've all done. I mean, I know Tyson and I've done call work, like I did research and I've done
I've done
phone
so
sales
many
support
credit
for
cards,
Disney.
cruises,
Yeah, no, right. I mean,
timeshares.
Well, I mean,
wine.
I recruited for advertising agencies, so that's kind of selling
well,
your
it's
soul
that
a
was
little
more of
bit.
a
Yeah.
At
but
least
you've
you
done
were.
phone work. You've
It was a
conducted
little
business on the
Yes.
phone. Yeah.
a little more
Yeah.
legit than some of the shit that we were doing.
right. Was the phone attached to your desk? That being the main.
That's a
Yeah.
good sign that you're
Yeah,
in a
We
bad
never
exactly.
had
You
situation.
that.
leave the
Yeah.
building with the phone. But no, really, really cute documentary. Highly encourage it. And I have a weird plug, but I'm going to plug something that I would not imagine plugging. I'm going to plug Bing because it's kind of fun right
Wow.
now. So Bing
Okay.
has kind of done their own thing. I've been kind of following the Chat GPT and all the AI craziness over the last few weeks and months. And Bing is actually, what they've done is it's kind of a hybrid between Chat GPT, but it also that the difference being is that ChatGPT's information is kind of shut off at like 18 months ago, so it like doesn't know the world beyond a certain date, where Bing can actually go out and read articles. And so it's just a fun thing to play around with, because you can basically just send it, like, point it to a PDF, and with a few tweaks, but point it to a PDF and basically have it just become like a knowledge base which you can interact with and just talk to and ask questions about that document. And I did it for one of the manuals that I'd been working on, just kind of a fun experiment. And it was actually like, you can just kind of ask it questions like a subject matter expert that it answers you. So it's kind of fun to play around with. It also does images now. So they really is. The reason why I mention it is because ChatGPT 4 is you have to pay for it. It's about $20 a month. And so Bing's completely free. Well, it's free, and otherwise that it's, tracking probably a shit ton of information about you. Other than that,
Yeah.
it's but about the cost that we care about. But no, I kind of discovered it because I have like this sort of Microsoft, just like, I don't really want to use something Microsofty if I don't absolutely have to. If it's not my email program or Excel, I'll take my Excel away. But it's actually kind of a fun toy to play around with right now.
I have to test with Bing as part of my QA job, and it was like, do you want to turn on this AI thing? And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, yeah, let's do it. And it's neat. I mean, it's neat.
It is, yeah, and it does. When you do that, and that was kind of cool too, is that it will like kind of give you a Bing answer above your search results now, and so it'll try to answer the question using Chat GPT in its own sort of knowledge base, but then it'll list links. And I think it was my friend Ryan who we talked about this months ago about who's also kind of followed this too, and we were talking about, and I don't remember who's kind of just kind of back and forth. We kind of included like, web pages, the inefficiency with web search has always been like, you weren't exactly sure what you're going to get, and so you really like, you click on one thing and that might be right, and then you're like, oh well, I need to click on another. So there's never this, you never get absolutely closer. And the difference with doing like kind of Chat GPT and the search engine is it kind of does that work for you, and it sort of goes down all those rabbit holes for you that you don't have to. You always get closer to an answer, like you refine it rather than just kind of finding a bit of information and then have to go all the way back and find another bit of. I'm not articulating it that well, but it's neat. Let's put it that way. Really neat stuff. So yeah, that's
Nice.
yeah, it's fun.
Dig it.
Technology, it's fun. Enjoy it before it kills us all.
Yeah, before it takes over everything.
Yay! Oh man,
So Dawson, what
murdered by robots.
plugs?
I have a few. As I kind of mentioned last week, Jonas and I are kind of on an oldie but a goodie kick. So we finished what was it, Watchmen, and now we're on to Fargo. We just
Nice.
finished season 1.
I'm
with Billy
I
Bob
love
Thornton,
that show. Oh, so good.
Martin Freeman. It is fucking fantastic, and the way that we like spaced it out, like, I mean, a lot of the characters, because there's so many cameos, especially as the seasons progress. We had forgot we're even in the season, so it's just fun. The writing is fantastic. It's obviously based off of the Coen brothers phenomenal movie, which is definitely in my top 20, maybe top 10, with Frances McDormand. So if you're looking for something to watch, it's definitely a good one. And then I know I'm going to plug, I feel bad when I plug other podcasts, but I'm going to do it because
should not feel bad at all.
Yeah, who cares?
And that's what we were listening to. So Jonas and I caught up on Smartless. They have a lot of really great episodes that came out recently, especially with like Greta Gerwig, Steven Soderbergh. But my favorite is with Willem Dafoe, who's one of my like all-time favorite actors. That dude is like the way he talks about acting as an art form is its own art form. He's so articulate and kind of a beautiful person. And I really didn't know that much about him. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's definitely worth your time. It's like an hour and a half long, but I loved it. I actually feel very inspired by him. So check it out. And then last but not least, I told her I was going to do it, and I'm going to do it. And I also told her drunkenly, Megan Solomon, thank you very much for my 40th birthday gift. Jonas and I went over to Megan and Paul's house, friends of ours from Hayes, and hung out at their pool, drank a lot of Paul's brewed beer. I think it was like a cucumber pale ale or something like that. It's delicious. Anyway, my advisor, Megan's advisor at Fort Hays State University, Gordon Sherman, who passed away, a year or two ago, he had all of this artwork at his house. And one of his friends, who's also friends with Megan and Paul, gave them a lot of it. And so she framed this beautiful piece for me and gave me like 3 or 4 other pieces.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I love Gordon. Like he definitely was, he was my mentor friend, like just really inspired me to like do art and get out of Hayes and all this stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, I've got all this cool Gordon Sherman art because of Megan. So thanks, dude. And I did cry, and I may cry again. It was awesome. It was very unexpected. I appreciate it.
Now, is it by him or is it something
It's
he
by
collected?
him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's all like he was our printmaking teacher, and he was really like a phenomenal artist, like Absolute Vodka. He did a couple of those ads like back in the day when they were a thing.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they're really cool. I'll post one of them, which is probably my favorite, the framed one. But yeah, I can't believe I have some of it. I've always like wanted some of his work. And I used to tell him that, and he'd be like, "You gotta pay the price." And I'm like, "I'm a poor college student. I'll get weed for us next weekend." But yeah, great guy. I'm really stoked about it. Now I need to figure out where the hell we're gonna hang it. The wall space is a problem, I feel like you both know, but Tyson especially.
Well, just use every inch of the wall, like I do.
Ugh, God, I know. We're getting to that point. Got to get a house. Anyway, those are the plugs.
All right.
Wow. We're right on time. Look at that. We are. Woo. Man, this is a coordinated. What are we? 95? This.
Yeah, it's 95.
Very nice.
95.
We're eking closer. We're gonna get there.
Reaching
Big
Cundy. We're
Oh.
getting so old, guys. So old.
We're so 2021 now. It's like,
No.
shit.
I'd really like. Well, I'm not going to say it. I want it to be a surprise. I want to do something special for our 100th episode.
I do too.
I'll talk to you both offline about
Oh my
it.
God. It's gotta be a tattoo. I know. Anyway,
It is
I know.
of teeth. You're gonna love it, Tice.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. It's been a minute since I had a tattoo. So.
Oh, that was a good run.
Yes.
All right.
All right, guys. Always a pleasure.
All right. Bye,
guys.
Bye.
See you next time.
Adios.
Adios. I'm gonna do my own wipe.
I like it.
Wow.
It didn't work. Hold on.
What can I wipe with? Oh, this is good. This is good.
I'll give you an idea.
Hey, that's pretty good.